In this video, I'm going to show you how you should drive on your driving test so that you can pass the first time. So right now we're outside the test center and we're about to move off towards the left. First thing you need to do, make sure you got your seatbelt on, and the examiner will usually tell you to drive on when you're ready. Now you can see it looks kind of quiet down right now, but there's a potential for traffic coming from any direction here. Cars coming from that way, maintenance vehicles, anything like that. So I'm going to signal left to let people know that I'm coming out. Clutch down, get into first gear, look around, even behind me as well. There could be people walking behind me, you never know. Make sure I check everywhere because I'm going downhill a little bit. I'm going to use my brake while my clutch is down to control my speed the whole time, keeping it nice and slow, checking both sides, making sure that it's safe. Coming out slowly, I can see a vehicle coming from the outside over there, so I'm just going to keep it nice and slow. Make sure I stick to my side now that I've come out. I'm going to use my clutch to go really slowly here. Nice and slow the whole time. So don't rush to come out when you start the test. Take your time with it. Right now I'm doing what, 5 miles an hour, so not fast at all. I'm going to be turning right at the end here, so mirror, signal. So check your center mirror, right mirror, and then signal. I'm going to use my clutch again to go slowly and position myself towards the left side so that I'm not on the wrong side, which is what some learners do here. And I'm going to come out really slowly, checking both sides. Creeping out, stretching a bit forward to make sure that I can see what's coming from this side. It's looking good. Now I can start turning. Now once I've got here, I can release my clutch a bit more, but I'm still doing it slowly so that it's nicely controlled. Here I'm going to take the next right, so I'll check my center and then right mirror, signal right. But you notice I'm sticking to my side before I turn. I'm not just going on that side before I turn. I'm sticking to my side. Then once I get here, I can turn into my side and check in the mirror before I do that to make sure there's no one overtaking me. Now this area is saying 10 miles an hour, so I'm keeping it really slow in first gear. This gives you time to kind of warm up. Not every test center is going to be like this. Some test centers you start straight away onto the main road, but this one in Hendon gives you a bit of time to kind of settle into the drive a little bit. So in a way that's good, but you also have to be alert still because there's pedestrians walking around potentially, cars reversing out of parking spaces. So right now I'm just keeping it nice and slow. At this point when you test, usually people are really nervous because they've just started, they don't want to mess up, but your nerves do settle down as you drive, so just try to go through this bit first, and then you see as you go through the drive, your nerves will settle a little bit more. Here we're turning right this roundabout, so center mirror, right mirror, signal right. Still in gear 1, so I don't want to go too fast. And then because it's a large roundabout, I'm going to signal left to come off. But you see there's a pedestrian there, so I'm going to have my brake covered, but they were fine. And then we've got cars coming out. Like I mentioned, it's quite busy. It looks quiet sometimes, but then things can change really quickly. Right now we've got cars coming out and pedestrians walking in front. So you just be ready, stay alert the whole time. At the end here, we're turning left, so I'm going to check my center mirror and then left mirror. I'll signal left before I get to the junction so that everyone around me knows I'm turning left. Got the give way sign there, so I know I have to give way. Clutch down and brake. Looking to the right for any cars coming from there, any vehicles. It looks clear right now. I'm looking left as well before I come out, because sometimes there'll be vehicles on your side or pedestrians, anything. You want to check both sides before coming out. So before I increase my speed even more, I can see there's pedestrians waiting to cross the road over there. So I'm just going to reduce my speed and go back into first. And then once they've gone, that car should start moving. I'm just going to check my mirrors both sides before I go. Check for anybody overtaking me. And now it's clear, I can carry on, get into second gear. I'm going to turn right fourth exit, which is going all the way back on ourselves on this roundabout, which is the large roundabout. Because I know I'm going to the right, I'm going to position myself towards the right early. And then I'm going to check my mirrors, center, right mirror, signal right about 3 houses away from where I want to turn. Already I'm looking over there for any vehicles coming from that side, and I can see that grey van is coming from there. So I'm going to go into first gear just so I can give them time to come out. Check for any more vehicles. That car is far away. I've got enough time to move. I'm sticking to the right for now. Checking all around me as I go around. And then once I go past the third exit, I want to start moving a bit towards the left, and then signal left once I've gone past the third exit so that everyone knows I'm coming off this exit now. And then once I'm off, cancel my signal. Check both sides of that zebra crossing, it was clear, and now I can carry on. I've got this car on the left, he should be waiting for me because I've got priority. You can see the giveaway lands on his side, so he needs to wait. Now I can gear up, checking the zebra crossing nice and early. It's looking clear right now. And then as I approach it, I'll check my center mirror and my mirrors, my side mirrors, in case I've got to stop for them. So right now this is a 30-mile-an-hour road, and just want to keep it nice and steady, not too fast for this bit. So right now I'm doing 25, around 25 miles an hour. And then as I approach this island here, you see it's getting a bit narrow, so I'm just going to reduce my speed a bit by easing off the gas slightly. Don't need to brake as much because I'm not going that fast. Check my right mirror because I'm going towards the right, and then straighten up again towards the left. So already I can see there's a bus in front of me, and that might affect how I drive. So they might stop somewhere. So whenever you see a bus, start thinking about how you're going to react to them if they stop. Don't ignore them when you see buses in front of you. And we've got the car in front of us as well, behind the bus. So whatever the bus does, that car will be affected, and that's going to in turn affect us as well. So I'm just keeping a nice distance. I'm not getting too close to them because the buses have a tendency of stopping by bus stops. So give yourself space to react. When you first start, you might get this urge to drive quite quickly and show the examiner that you're a really good driver by going fast, and you don't want to do that. Just be safe, do it at a nice steady pace, keep your distance from vehicles in front of you, and it should be okay. So now that we've stopped, I can go into neutral and handbrake on, or if I really wanted to, I could actually keep it in gear, and I'll keep it in gear 1 ready to go. If you're really confident with doing move off, you can put it into neutral handbrake. Now that it's clear, I can put my handbrake down, get into gear and start moving off. But if you're not comfortable doing that yet, just keep it in gear 1 until you're ready to move. So through these roadworks, I'm just going nice and slowly, not too fast, because you see it's quite narrow. You've got cones on this side, got parked vehicles on the left, so not much room here. So I'm still in second, doing about 20 miles an hour. And then once the space opens up a bit more, I'm just going to check my mirrors and go a bit faster. Then I can get into third gear, because now the space has opened up a bit more. And then usually around here, the examiner will tell you to pull over on the left in a safe place. So there's a safe place there, but it's too soon. I just saw that now. I'm going to check my center mirror, left mirror, signal left now that I've seen a nice safe spot. So it's not like a rush drop. Don't rush to go to the left quickly. Just choose a spot that's safe, check your mirrors, signal left, and then pull over, making sure you don't hit the curb. And then once you've stopped, you can secure the car, handbrake on neutral, and then relax and cancel your signal. So here the examiner will either tell you to just drive on again, or they will tell you some other instructions such as independent driving. But right now we're just going to drive on again. So I'm just going to get my car into first gear, do all my checks, starting from my left blind spot area, which is over there. My mirror, front windscreen, over my right shoulder, signal right. Keep checking that mirror as I'm coming out. A little bit of gas, clutch the biting point, and then ease off. Once I get to this speed, cancel my signal and get into second gear. So now that I'm moving, I'm checking my mirrors again to make sure that there's no one right behind me, and then into third gear. So you notice right now I'm a bit over the line because these cars are parked up quite close to this side, and the road was a bit narrow there. So sometimes don't just think about sticking into a lane. Sometimes the lane is too narrow. If it's too narrow, move a bit towards the right, as long as there's nothing coming from the other side, it should be fine. At this roundabout, I'm turning left first exit, so I'm just going to check my center mirror, left mirror, signal left when I'm around here. I'm going to gear down to second because I'm in third right now, so I'm going to go down into second so I can approach it in second. See, there's a big pothole there, so I'm just going to avoid that for a second and then go back into the left. But I noticed I checked my mirror first before I did that. And there's a car on the right there, so I'll go into first. I'll check for any more cars. There's no more cars coming from there, so I can start moving off now. And then once I turn now, the signal should cancel itself because I've done a big turn, and then it does. I can carry on. So this car on the left should wait for me, so I'm not going to be too afraid of them. Then we're approaching a roundabout. So sometimes people miss roundabouts, but look out for these little blue circle signs that tell you there's a roundabout coming up, especially mini roundabout. And then we can see these cars are going straight because they've got no signal on. And then these cars on the left should wait for me, so I'm not going to be too scared to go through. So my main attention was to the right, but I'll still look to the left as well, just in case they made a mistake, but they were fine. Here I'm going to be turning right, so check my center. Right mirror, signal right, and there's a box that I need to wait in there for if I was to wait for any cars coming from that side. So I'll go into this box nice and early. I'll signal right again because my signal cancelled. I'll go into first gear because I want to go slowly into this turn here because it's quite sharp. But you notice before I turned, I went into that box like I was parking in there. That's what you want to do so you're not sticking out. Here I'm going to turn it left. So this is a car park here. I'm going to go nice and slowly. Not too fast. And left again. So here, the examiner might tell you to do a reverse bay park or a forward bay park. Let's start off with a reverse bay park. So they'll tell you to do a reverse bay park. You choose what bay you want to park in. So I'm going to choose this one on the left here. So what I'll do, I'm going to line my car up with these bays here. I'm going to get my reference point, which is just about there. Make sure there's no one behind me. So you don't need to signal for this. Your reverse light should be enough to let people know what you're doing. Have a nice check around and then touch up a tiny bit just to the biting point, and then I'll do a full lock. Once I'm here, checking around the whole time, just using my clutch to go nice and slowly up and down around the biting point. Checking my little mirrors to see if I'm in the bay or not. So it looks like it's going good, but I could go a bit more to the right, so I'm just going to adjust it a tiny bit to the right. Checking everywhere. It's looking good so far. And then reversing back nice and slow. Now that was going downhill, I'm just going to use my brakes now. My clutch is down. I'm just going to use my brakes to go really slowly. And once I'm in, checking the back as well because there's a very close hedge there. Once I'm in, I'm going to stop there and then secure the car. So if I was out now, what I'll do, I would go back out. I'll just show you what to do. Let's say you're too far on one side. Let's say imagine that I'm too far to this side. I want to go more to this side. It's nice and easy to do that. So I'm just going to get my car into first gear. Because I'm on a hill, I'll get the biting point first. Look around again, make sure it's safe. Then I want to turn towards the right because that's where I want to go. And then straighten up my wheels, checking my mirrors, I'm doing that. And now I'm a bit more towards the right and I can get into reverse. So you notice that my clutch wasn't too high because if in this area there's not much space, so you don't want to bring your clutch up too high, otherwise you're going to go shooting into this car here. So now I'm just going to reverse back nice and slowly. My clutch is down, just the hills bringing the car down now. Nice and easy, really slowly. Checking the back as well, nice and slow. And then once it's in the bay, I can secure the car. Handbrake on, neutral. And if you're still not sure whether you're in or not, you can open the door, have a check there. And if you still don't know if it's in or not, you can come out of the car and have a look. Once you're happy with it, you can move on. Okay, when you're coming out now, make sure you signal left so people know you're coming out. Check both sides. Nice and slowly again. And then let's do the forward bay park now. So on your test, you're only going to get one, but on this video, I'm going to show you the different maneuvers that you might get. But on your test, once you've done that one, you're not going to do any more reverse maneuvers. So let's do the forward bay park since we're in the car park now. And again, you choose what bay you want. So this time I'm going to park towards the left. And if you know you're going to park towards the left, what you want to do is make sure you go towards the right. Give yourself lots of room. So I'm checking my right mirror, move the bit towards the right, and then signal left now. And I've chosen the bay that I want. So once my car is in line with the first line of the bay, or sorry, once my mirror is in line with the first line of the bay that I want to park in, I'll check my mirrors again and swing the car towards the left. So now, very slowly, it should work. Keep checking all the way around. Now I can't see the lines because they disappear. Then now it's about just remembering where the lines were. Also remembering the front there, so I don't go too far forward. Then once I'm in, I can secure the car, handbrake on, neutral, and then I can check again on the side there to make sure that I'm in and it's looking good. And if I wasn't in, I could come out and correct it, and just like the reverse bay park. Okay, so now this one, the second part of this maneuver is reversing out. You're marked on everything on here, yeah? So you want to be careful in the reversing out bit as well. The examiner will tell you which way they want the car to face, so you want the car to face that way. So I'm going to look around. I'm going to turn the steering wheel this way so that my car starts reversing towards the left. That's it. And then once I've got enough space to drive on again, I'll go into first gear, look all around again, make sure it's safe, and then start moving. You notice my steering, I'm not doing the push technique. Steer how you like. As long as you're controlling the car, it doesn't really matter how you steer. As long as the car's controlled, it's fine. Again, I'm in the car park, so I'm keeping it really slow, not going too fast. And then I'm going to turn right here, yeah, towards the exit. And then at the end of the road, I'm turning right again. So mirror, mirror, signal right, giveaway line there. So whenever you're dealing with junctions, the secret to getting them right is don't go unless you're 100% sure that you're safe. So right now I'm checking both left and right. Once I'm 100% sure that it's safe, then I can come out. But at the same time, I'm still checking because I could change my mind. I could see a car coming and then stop. So that way I can definitely know that it's safe and then I can move on. Here the road is going to split into two and we want to follow it towards the left side. So I'm just going to go towards the left. I don't need to signal right now. I'm just going to aim towards the left. Checking my mirror as I'm doing that. And there are some big signs up there telling us to stop. I cover this junction a lot on my videos because people always mess it up. The signs say stop, which means you have to stop once you get to the stop line. Even if the road is clear on the side, you've got to stop. Check it out and then carry on if it's safe. So just keeping my distance from the car in front. So sometimes the car in front might not stop and then that will might make you think, oh, I can carry on as well, but that's not the case. Make sure you stop fully, check that side. Once it's safe, I can carry on now. And then check the zebra crossing as well. So don't be influenced by the cars in front of you. Sometimes they don't stop and that's not really going to affect their day, but if you do what they did, you would fail your test for that. So make sure you stop fully before carrying on. So we've got a bus in the distance. I can see its indicator flashing to come out of the bus stop. So I'm just going to go approach it slowly. You see the car in front of me slowed down for them as well. So that meant I need to slow down too. And then just ahead is a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit now starting. So I'm checking my speed. I'm doing just under 20, which is okay. And then making sure I don't go past 20 miles an hour as I go through here. There's a zebra crossing ahead. We've got a lady on the left there, but it looks like she's walking past it already. And then I can carry on. Bus stop is stopping. The bus is stopping at the bus stop. So I'm just going to reduce my speed. I'm not just going to follow the car in front. I need to check first what's happening. It looks like it's clear. Check my right mirror and then go around. So the mistake a lot of learners make there is they'll just follow the car in front, but when they go, it might not be safe. I'm just going to pull over on the left in a safe place. Mirror, mirror, signal. Check my mirror again on the left. And I'm going to aim for a parking spot, like right here, by a raised curb. Yeah. So on your, let me just secure the car first. So on your test, the examiner will say to you, either they'll say pull over on the left in a safe place, which means you've got to stop somewhere that's got either a raised curb, a parking bay, or somewhere that's got no lines, no double yellow lines, somewhere where you can park basically. Or they might say pull over on the left, ignore the yellow line or ignore the driveway, which means you can block the driveway. They've given you permission to do that because at that point there might not be any other spaces, or that might be the best place for you to stop for what they're trying to do. Okay, so now we're going to start the independent driving. We're going to follow signs for Totteridge to begin with. So follow signs for Totteridge. Remember on this one, you can ask them if you're not sure. They will tell you that you can ask them if you're not sure. But ask them well before the junction. Don't ask them at the junction. Ask them in plenty of time so they can help you and tell you if you're going the right way or not. Okay, so let's go now. Following signs for Totteridge. Let's check my mirrors again. Do all my observations. Wait for this car to go past or signal right. Get ready. Keep checking over to my side and it's looking good. Then I can carry on. So we're following signs for Totteridge. I can see there's a sign there, but it's covered a bit by the van that's parked up over there. So in this case, what you should do here is just say, I can't see that sign for Totteridge, and they'll tell you, because they will know the area. They'll say, okay, it's to the right at this roundabout, because this van's blocking your view, so you can't see, unless you can see through the van, you can't see that it's at Totteridge there. So just tell them, they'll tell you it's to the right. which means we're going to check our mirrors, signal right, and position ourselves towards the right as well. Checking over there for any traffic. It looks like there's quite a lot of traffic over there, but this bus is going to come and block them, which will give me the chance to go. But if you're not sure, don't go straight away. So that bus, I could see it coming from far away, that's why I took that chance. But if you're not that experienced, or if you're not comfortable doing that, just wait. And then once you get a nice safe gap, once you see the cars getting blocked a lot, then you can make your move. Little reminder there telling us what the speed limit is, still 30 miles an hour. Now we're following signs for Brent Cross. So if you look at the sign here, the sign is for Brent Cross is to the right, third exit. So now I know that's right, third exit. This is a large roundabout. I'm just gonna start reducing our speed. And I know I'm going to the right, so I'm gonna position myself to the right nice and early. And I'll signal right from around here. And you see now the lanes are splitting up. So we've got the left, we've got the middle, and then we've got the right. So I'm just gonna stick to the right hand side. And then I'm checking the right from early as I approach the roundabout. After that white van is looking good, and I can go straight to my lane. Checking my mirrors as I do that, because sometimes people use your lane by mistake. Paying attention to the traffic light on the roundabout, and then I was going to green, I can start moving again. Sticking to my lane for now, because this is a spiral roundabout, so this lane should take me to my exit. Check my mirrors again, make sure no one's encroaching in my lane. Now that I'm here, I've gone past the second exit, I can signal left. The light is green there, so I can carry on. Checking my mirrors, I'll come off. Now this is a 50-mile-an-hour road, so I'm just going to put lots of gas on, start increasing my speed. I'm forced to come off on the right, but I want to go to the left now, because I'm not overtaking anyone, so I can go to the left lane. Increase my speed. So now I'm doing just under 50. There's a car on the left there, so he should wait for me. But see, I was ready in case he tried to go around. In case he tried to come out, I was ready. I checked my mirror on just in case I had to go around him, but he knew I was there. Still following signs for Brent Cross, which is straight second exit. Also, look out for these signs that tell you what lane to use as well. So you could use the left lane or the middle lane or the right lane to go straight here. But I'm using the left lane because it's the best lane for going straight second exit. So this way, because I know traffic's not going to be here for long, I was ready to move off in first gear. And checking the lights as I'm approaching this roundabout. So this one's controlled by lights and it's going to red now. So I can start braking, checking my center mirror to see who's behind me, how close they are. And then getting into first gear. So remember, these ones that are controlled by lights, you don't need to worry too much about what's coming from the right over there. You still want to have a little look as you move, but the main thing is that you're focusing on the lights so that when they change, you move, and if they're going to red, you stop. So now that's going to green. Start moving off. Now when I go past this first exit, I can signal left now to come off here. Checking my mirror on the right there as well, so there's cars in front of me going slowly. So you see it's a fast road, but sometimes the vehicles in front might have stopped, so you need to be ready for that as well. And it's still 50 miles an hour, so normally I would be going faster now, but we've got the car in front going slowly, so we don't want to be tailgating them, so I'm just going to keep my distance. Gear up into fourth. So on my speedometer it's showing me that I'm doing 40 miles an hour. And then we're going to take the next left. So you've got the sign there telling us there's a left turn coming up. So here you want to be really careful here. I'm going to signal left, let people know that I'm going to be turning. I'm braking nice and early. Remember, I'm in fourth gear right now, but it's a very sharp turn. So I'll let this person know behind me that I'm turning. So then when I get hit to here, I'm going to get in second gear. I want to do it nice and slowly into this turn. The key there was warning those people that I'm going to be turning by indicating nice and early. And then also slowing down loads so that I'm not doing a big turn or a sharp turn with high speeds. So signal early and then brake early as well. Checking both sides here. Okay, there's a car, so that car was a bit hidden. See, that's why it's important to double check before you come out. So once I was coming out, I checked again, and then that car suddenly popped out between those cars there. That's why it's really important to keep checking all the time. And then here, just going straight, checking the right side over there. Nice and slowly. So going downhill, sometimes you just want to use your brakes. So even the car in front, they're using their brake just to control their speed. So otherwise they'll go too fast. And we're going to be turning right at the end here. So check my center, right mirror, signal right. And in second right now, I'm going to approach it in first. So even if this guy had moved out the way, I'll still approach it in first, just so I can check both sides to see if it's clear. And with other learners, be patient as well, give them time, because when you're on your test, you'd have had lots of lessons and you're quite good at that stage. But you have to remember, some people are still new, so just give them lots of space, give them time, and be patient. Now checking this side, making sure that it's safe before I come out, checking that side as well. But I can see a big gap after this car here, so I can get my car to the biting point, add a bit of gas, and then make my turn. So approaching this, there's a big traffic jam up ahead, so there's no point like rushing to go over there and then having to slam my brakes. I'm just going to approach it nice and slowly, in first, and then have my clutch ready as well, because this is going to be stop-start traffic here. And because I'm in first gear, I'm going to be putting my clutch down first when I'm stopping. So like now, I can put my clutch down first, and then brake. And when they're moving again, clutch to the biting point, add a little bit of gas, and then because they're moving at quite a good pace, now I can come off the clutch fully, and then add more gas. And this roundabout, we're turning left. So when I get close, I'm going to check my mirrors from now, center, and then left mirror, and then signal left. Checking the right hand side over there for any cars coming from that side. Keep checking again. It's looking good right now. There's no one coming from there, so I can carry on. And then make sure the zebra crossing is safe and it's clear. So we've got cars coming from down the hill there, and it's their side that's clear. There's parked cars on my side, so I'm just going to give them space. And then now that car's gone, I'm going to check my mirror and then start coming out again. The whole time I'm keeping an eye on what's coming up from down the hill there, because if anything comes down, I would have to stop for them on the left there. I'm keeping it in second here because it's really steep, and I'm going to be turning right at the end, so check my center mirror, right mirror, signal right. This is a super steep hill. It's quite infamous in Mill Hill. So as I approach it, I'm going to go into first before I get to the top, so that I can creep up in first gear. This wouldn't work so well in second gear. And then I want to check both sides. I can balance it like this, or I can just put my handbrake on if I'm really unsure, get my biting point, and then handbrake down, using a bit of gas as well, keeping the clutch still, and then carrying on. So you can use different techniques. Don't try to rush that hill there. If you're not comfortable doing like balancing the clutch, just stop the car, handbrake on, and get the biting point, and then move off when you're safe. Here I'm taking the next road on the right. It's just behind that red van there. So mirror, mirror, signal right. I'm going to go slowly. I'm looking out for any cars coming from this direction there, and looks like it's clear right now. Check my mirror before I turn, and then make my turn. Very steep hill, so I'm still using my brake just so I don't go too fast. And then I'm gonna pull up on the right hand side here, so check my center mirror, right mirror, signal right. Check my mirror again as I'm pulling over to the right, and then straighten up my car so that it doesn't go too close to the curb or too far away. Now it's nice and straight. Handbrake on, neutral, and then relax. So usually when you get pulled over to the right, it's for one reason. It's going to be for the right reverse, which is one of the maneuvers that you might get. So earlier we've done the reverse bay park and the forward bay park. So if you've done any of those, you wouldn't get this one as well. This is just another one of the four that you might get. So the examiner will say something like, when it's safe, I would like you to reverse back 2 car lengths, keeping reasonably close to the pavement, so we're going to do that. So get into reverse, look around, make sure it's safe, look everywhere, and I'm going to be using my little mirror a lot to make sure that I'm not too close to the curb, and know that I'm not too far away as well. I want to get a bit closer, so if I want to get closer, I'll turn towards the curb, and notice I'm just using my clutch to the biting point, not too fast, not too high. And once I'm close enough, I can start turning a bit towards the left, the whole time looking everywhere, not just looking in one spot, keeping it nice and slow. I can even use one hand if that's more comfortable. Yeah, I can put my hand here if I want to. This makes it more comfortable for some people. Yeah, or some people prefer to stay like this, which is okay. Whatever's comfortable for you, just do it. Once you get to like around 2 car lengths, you can stop the car. Yeah, and if it's not enough, the examiner will just tell you to drive on or reverse back a bit more. Or if it's a lot, they'll just tell you, okay, thank you, that's enough, and you're not going to get marked down for that. Okay, so now that you've done the reversing, the next bit now is to drive on. So it's just a matter of getting your car ready, and because we're moving from this side onto the left side, we want to start checking our right side first. So check our right blind spot, do our checks, signal left so that we're coming out, so that we let people know that we're coming out towards the left. Put my handbrake down. There's a car behind with a person inside it, and making sure that they don't move off behind me. So far they're good, but I was waiting for this car now. Once that car is gone, check my right side again, and it's looking good. Mirror, and I can carry on. So you notice that I went straight to the right side as well. You don't want to be driving on the left side, on the wrong side for too long. Go straight to the left side. Whenever you're approaching bends, you want to be nice and slowly, because you don't know what's coming around the bend. You don't want to go in there too fast. And if you can avoid it, you don't want to be on the wrong side as well. Go on your side of the road as you go around the bend. And here we're turning right at the end. Mirror, mirror, signal. And I'll go into first gear here. Okay, so turning right sometimes can be hard because you have to deal with 2 lanes. You've got to deal with these vehicles and those vehicles over there. So I'm just waiting for a nice big gap. I'll keep scanning both sides. I can see a gap here, I can see a gap there. I can take this one, it's nice, then I can carry on. That's why it's important to be checking both sides as you wait in there, because if you're only checking one side, you might see that it's clear that side, then you have to start checking this side with a fresh look. But if you're checking both sides the whole time, you're going to know when it's clear on both sides. Then it will make it easier for you to move off. Here we're going to be turning left at this mini roundabout. So I'm just going to check my center mirror, left mirror, signal left. And I'm going to approach it into the left lane as well. You see there's 2 lanes there. So I'll get into my lane properly, and I will get into second gear as I approach it. Checking the right side from early. There's a van there, but he's indicating his turn. Make sure there's no bikes behind him. So you notice most times when I'm turning, I'll check and double check again. That's how you're going to save yourself from failing. Double checking, yeah? Don't just be happy with one look and then go, because sometimes you might miss something that you might have, that might be hidden by another vehicle. So just double check, triple check even sometimes, and then go. Remember, the key is to be 100% sure that it's safe. If you're like 89% sure or 90% sure that it's safe, don't go. It needs to be 100% sure that it's safe. Checking my right mirror to go around this vehicle here. And then I'm going to slow it down a bit because it's going downhill and it's on a bend, and I'm a bit on the wrong side as well because I have to be because of these vehicles that are parked up. And then as I approach these lights, I'm going to be aiming for the A41. So I'm just going to stick to this lane. It's green right now, but I don't want to go fast because I need to turn here, so I'm not going to go fast. So I'm just going to approach it nice and slowly and get into first gear. So because I can see there's lots of vehicles coming from that side, I can actually go into neutral right now and then just rest my foot. And then once there's no more cars, or even I can use this clue as well. So we've got the green man over there for those pedestrians that might be crossing here. Once that goes red, then I can tell that it's going to be, oh, there's one there as well, the green man and the green bicycle. So it's the So once it starts changing, I know that it's time for me to get ready. So there's a cycle and a green man there. So what kind of crossing is this? If you know your theory test, guys, put it in the comment below. Okay, so here now I'm gonna check my left mirror. So So I want to be in the middle lane, but I want to make sure that there's no one coming from that side into this lane. And start reducing my speed. And stopping. Again, I can secure my car. This way, when you secure your car, you don't roll back. You're less likely to roll back. The more experience you get, you won't need to do handbrake all the time, but to keep it secure, you can use it. Then it makes it easier to move off as well. And because we're on a fast road now, don't like accelerate too gently. You want to be quite fast. And at the next traffic lights, the examiner will say next traffic lights turn right. And because we're in the left-hand lane, we can't turn right from here. We want to be over to the right lane. So once you hear that instruction, you want to check your mirrors. You want to start moving over to the right. So signal right, let people know that you want to move over to the right. But I'm going to let this car go a bit more forward first. And then now I've got a bit more space. I can go to the middle lane, check the mirror again on the right, and then move over to the right. And then now I'm here, I can increase my speed now, because I've got lots of space. And gear up to 5th. And then as I get closer to the junction, to the traffic lights, I can check my mirrors, and then I'll signal right so that people behind me know that I'm going to be turning right at the next lights. And then we've got a little lane here that I need to go into. Check my mirror again. And because sometimes learners, when they get here, they forget they're turning right, and then they'll stick to that lane over there. You can't use that lane to turn right. You need to come over to this side so that you can turn right from here. Notice that I stopped in 5th gear. You can do that as well. And then now I can go into 1st, or I can go into neutral, whichever is easier for you. Okay, now we're taking the 2nd road on the right, so this is the 1st one here. So I'm just going to wait until I go past and then check my mirrors and signal right once I'm here. And then start positioning myself towards the right hand side, getting into 1st gear as I approach it. So this person looks like they're waiting, but now the wheels are starting to roll, so I'm going to wait for another gap. So when you're waiting there, or when you're thinking about whether the car's moving or, look at the wheels, and then if you see them start rolling, that's usually a sign that you shouldn't try to go in front of them. So now there's a nice big space, check my mirror, and then go into this turn. Going back into the estate where the test centre is, I'm nice and slow, and I've got nasty speed bumps here as well, so you don't want to be going too fast. So at this stage, when you've done your test, you'll be thinking about, how did I do? Did I do good? Did I fail? Whatever you do and whatever you're thinking, just stay focused, because a lot of people, they will fail near the end because they get too relaxed, and then they make a silly mistake at the end. So just stay focused until you get to the end, and then they've asked you to switch your engine off. You're still on your test, you're still being marked, so just stay focused the whole time. Nice and easy. You're going to be turning left into the test center. So mirror, mirror, signal left. So it looks quite busy over there, so let me just see how busy it is. If it's too busy, you're going to go round into the other place. Okay, I think it's a bit busy, so what we'll do, we're just going to go round these guys. We'll go to another place. Into there. Sometimes they'll do this, sometimes they'll get you to pull over like this person has done here, and they'll tell you a result. So let's do that. So I'm just going to pull over here. And then this is where you get you to secure the car, switch the engine off, and then they'll tell you whether you passed or failed. But I'm sure you guys will be fine, because if you follow the advice I've given you, you'll be good. And you also subscribe so you can see the other tips I've given you on this channel as well. And yeah, guys, the main thing to remember on your test is take your time at junctions, don't rush, and if you're not sure whether it's safe or not, don't go. And give yourself plenty of space between vehicles, especially large vehicles that are in front of you, so that you're not getting caught off guard, so that you can see clearly what's ahead of you as well. When you're doing maneuvers, lots of looking around to make sure that it's safe before you move, and when you're reversing as well. But if you have any questions, guys, you can always leave them in the comments or message me on Instagram at Driving Test Tips. Again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.